This is the Otodus Megalodon, the biggest and baddest predator that lived as early as 3 million years ago. It has been featured in a lot of movies, but most notably in the box office movie Meg. Without a doubt, the Megalodon is one of the most popular and scariest sea creatures of all time. And one good reason to that is because it's real. But how real did they portray the Megalodon? And I know it's a movie and a lot of things can be greatly exaggerated in movies, but we're gonna clear some stuff out. Because these are the 5 misconceptions of the Megalodon. Number 1. The choice of prey. Megalodons, when it existed, its diet consisted of mostly large mammals from whales, sharks, and even the greatest predators of the ocean. Megalodons are basically on the top of the food chain, but contrary to popular beliefs, they never preyed on T-Rex or any dinosaurs for that matter. From the trailer of Meg 2, we see this ferocious T-Rex being eaten by the Megalodon, but this is actually a misconception since all dinosaurs went extinct about 66 million years ago. The Megalodon fossils that have been discovered today only would have lived in the Miocene and Pliocene epoch, which is around 23 to 3 million years ago, a much earlier period in history. I mean, with its huge appetite of 2,500 pounds of meat a day, it would have easily eaten dinosaurs if it wanted to. But in reality, in their period, dinosaurs would have been long gone.
Here I come.
Number 2. Habitat. In the movie, especially in the second one, they portrayed that the Megalodon would live somewhere a deep sea trench, which is also unlikely since at very deep waters, temperatures would drop below 10 degrees, an environment where Megalodons won't thrive. Since Megalodons, like most sharks, they would only survive in warmer waters. And yes, in the movie, they did discover another thermocline layer beneath the depths where a warmer climate was inhabited by large creatures, but again, no such thing has ever been discovered before. The closest possible environment that they could have survived are hydrothermal vents, which are deep water cracks that are near active volcanoes and could heat up the deepest of oceans. That is, if they could adapt to boiling waters of about 400 degrees Celsius. And we also have to consider at deeper waters, Megalodons won't have enough food to survive because no large enough mammals would exist at that depths to support the huge appetite of Megalodons. And there is also the aspect of light. If they are closely related to most sharks, Megalodon's sight would be very limited in the pitch black ocean floor, making it harder for them to hunt for food. A more favorable habitat for them, like most sharks, would be in shallow waters, where they could hunt for more food and where they can also reproduce. The number 3 misconception is the size.
It's a shark. It's like 25 meters.
It's a Megalodon.
Impossible.
Based on the sheer size, especially on the second movie, adult Megs were around 25 meters or 80 feet in length. 80 feet is absurdly large. That's about 5 cars being lined up or almost as big as the blue whale. It may not be impossible, but it is very unlikely since the average size of discovered Megalodons would be 30 feet tall, about the size of whale sharks. The largest ever discovered Megalodon was 60 feet tall, and that was already out of the ordinary. To put it in perspective, the largest living known shark, the great white, is around 15 to 18 feet in length. The average Megalodon would be twice that size. In the movie, it's 4 times as big. It's no doubt that they were huge and imposing, but I think they really exaggerated the size. But understandably, in a movie, if you want to make a scary giant shark, then the bigger the better, right?
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
The number 4 misconception is speed. Unlike in the movie, where according to the producers, when Jason Statham or Jonas in the movie was reeled in and chased after, it was confirmed the Meg was approaching an extreme speed of 93 miles per hour. That would make it the world's fastest swimmer. The Megalodons, with its huge and heavy body of about 60 to 100 tons, was not as agile as you thought. According to a research by Science Advance, where they scanned the Megalodon vertebrae from fossils to get an accurate 3D model of the Megalodon and then factoring its mass, they estimated that they could reach a cruising speed of 1.5 meters per second or 3 miles per hour. Compared to all sharks, it is definitely not the fastest. And yes, they are partly warm-blooded, so normally they get aggressive and can certainly go faster, but not that fast.
Just a little bit.
Since its fastest burst speed, it could only go at 23 miles per hour. That's about the same speed of some whales. But the more important question to that is, would you be able to outswim a Megalodon? To put it in perspective, the fastest human swimmer, Michael Phelps, can go at a max speed of 6 miles per hour. So the answer is no. But will you be able to escape one with a boat? Yes, for sure, most speedboats and jet ski could outrun this huge beast. Since it had a slower speed compared to other sharks, hunting food would have to rely more on being stealthy and hunting their prey without being noticed. Like most shark behaviors, where they will have to approach their targets from below. And Megalodons would have had to prey on much slower mammals like whales. And number 5, the biggest misconception is the appearance.
Come on, you ugly bastard.
In the movie, the CGI and visuals of the Megalodon look stunningly real. And according to Megan Balk, a paleobiologist on Science News, when he examined the appearance of the Megalodon in the movie, it had very similar features to the great white shark, which in his opinion is not entirely wrong. Like most would assume that the mighty Megalodon would definitely have a resemblance to the largest living predator shark, and is also because dating back in the 1800s where the Megalodon was first discovered, initial assumptions suggest that it is closely related to the great white. But that actually has not been proven, since the Megalodon is an entirely different genus compared to the great white. Truth be told, nobody has an actual accurate depiction of what they really look like, since we're only limited to the very few fossils and teeth that's left. But if you were to base it on their size and physiology, according to some, unlike in great white sharks, the Megalodon would have had a much larger pectoral fin in order to support its huge size and 100-ton body, much like the fins on larger aquatic mammals. And according to the Museum of Natural History, if you were to base it on its genus, the Megalodon would have had a shorter nose and a flatter jaw in order to accommodate larger prey like whales on its mouth. And there's also the matter of color. There is so many different variation of colored sharks. In my guess, it needed to be more stealthy, so it may have been either a dark blue to black or bluish gray in order to be more adept at hunting its food. This photo of the Megalodon would be more accurate depiction of what it looked like. Since we only have a few fossils and teeth to base it on, of course, it's not 100% accurate.
Did you guys ever watch Shark Week?
Regardless of what it looked like, the movie was right to make it look like a great white shark, cause this wouldn't look as scary at all. Though the movie was scientifically inaccurate, it was certainly an amazing and thrilling movie. At least in my opinion it was, cause I most certainly enjoyed the movie. And so far, that's about all of the misconceptions about the Megalodons. If you know more, make sure to leave it down in the comments down below. I'd be glad to know what you think. And while we're on the topic of the ocean, have you heard of the incident about the submersible that went down to the Titanic? If not, check this next video out. And thank you so much for watching until the end. I really appreciate it. And back to the topic of Megalodons, though they're a bit underwhelming compared to the movies, we all know that they do exist in real life. The only big question is, do they still live among us? Well,